In this demonstration, you'll learn the secrets of carving a stencil into a pumpkin using Stick and Carve. Stick and Carve is a unique adhesive printer paper. The sheets are standard letter size, 8.5 by 11 inches, and can be used in any printer. Make note of which side of the page you're printing on. Don't print on the glossy backing. We want to print on this textured side. The pattern we'll be using this evening is called Head Honcho, designed by Zombie Pumpkins and available from Sulky. Before we can start creating a masterpiece, we've got to gut our pumpkin. The first step is to cut a circular hole at the top using a sturdy serrated blade. Making the lid a unique shape will help us line it up perfectly when we replace it. Then comes the gooey step of surgically removing the pumpkin's innards. Don't worry, the pumpkin won't protest. After all, we haven't given it a mouth yet. A large pumpkin scoop will make quick work of the gutting. Stick and Carve paper is water soluble. Stick around and you'll discover the reason shortly. But because of this, it's very important that we thoroughly dry the outside of the pumpkin before we begin carving. Next, let's cut away the excess paper from our pattern. Using scissors, cut around the design, leaving a margin of 1 inch or so. Hold the pattern to the pumpkin to make sure it's a proper fit. Peel off the backing, and what you'll have is a thin, flexible sticker. Stick it gently where you plan to carve. Take a step back and make sure it's placed correctly. If you're not happy with how it's positioned, you can easily peel it off and try again. But don't take too long. I'm dying to start stabbing this thing. Once it's on straight, press it down firmly. Flatten any creases at the edges to help it wrap around the curved surface. Here's tip number 1. Use your thumbnail to rub the material into all those crevices and grooves in the surface of the pumpkin. Every bit of it should be firmly stuck, with no floating gaps under the sticker. This is key to make sure your design doesn't try to escape during carving. Well, that's the stick in Stick and Carve. I think you can guess what's next. And for the carve, we'll obviously be using the Pro Pumpkin carving tool from Zombie Pumpkins. But I suppose any small carving saw should get the job done. When it comes to pumpkin carving with patterns, you generally want to cut out pieces from the center first, and then move outward. Saw with an up and down motion, following the lines of the pattern. The beauty of this product is that you can cut right through the thin paper. Quite remarkable, isn't it? Now, because Stick and Carve dissolves in water, a particularly juicy pumpkin might cause the cut edges to melt or peel up. So here's tip number 2. If you notice this happening, pat it down gently with a paper towel to absorb the moisture and stick the pattern back in place. It's also wise to carve the small details first, working quickly on adjacent pieces. That's our tip number 3. For example, if you're carving a skeleton with a row of small teeth, do each tooth one right after another so you don't lose your place. That's right, knock out some teeth. Poke them in the eye, pick their nose. I mean, it's not like they can feel it, right? I think you get the idea. So let's pick up the pace a bit. In case you're curious, Stick and Carve works just as well when carving artificial foam pumpkins. Keep your eyes peeled for a future demonstration featuring that process. You'll notice we haven't removed any of the cut pieces yet. I know it's very tempting to do so, but we suggest leaving the pieces in place until the end. That's tip number 4. This will give your carving surface more strength. Only after all pieces are cut will we poke or pull them out carefully. We've come so far, you don't want to break anything now. And just like that, we're done carving. At this point, we could peel off the remaining Stick and Carve. But wait, there's a better way. I promised to show you the benefit of water-soluble paper. That means it dissolves when wet. So we will place our pumpkin in the sink and give the pattern a rinse with warm water. Like a wicked witch, it's melting, melting. Oh, what a world, what a world. Here's tip number 5. Use a sponge soaked with warm water to wipe away all the dissolving sticking carve. Your pumpkin will be squeaky clean. That's it. You're done. It really is that cut and dry. Well, literally. Once our pumpkin is dried off, we're ready to light it with a traditional candle or a modern LED light. And that sticking carve, well, technically I guess it's print, peel, stick, carve, and rinse. But I think sticking carve has a better ring to it. It just rolls off the tongue. Those that have used it call it a game changer. A truly new innovation for pumpkin carvers because it eliminates the bothersome, time-consuming transfer methods of yesteryear. It makes elaborate jack-o'-lanterns accessible to carvers of all skill levels, with the ease of simply cutting along the lines of any stencil you can print. So go forth, my brave pumpkin artists. Good luck with your carving, and have a scream of a Halloween!